Forever Dog.
From the spacious Forever Dog Studios in Los Angeles, California, and the satellite Forever Dog Studios in Baltimore, Maryland, this is And now your host, Dan and Eric. Hi.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Eric.
This is the beginning of our podcast. Hello.
Here we go.
Here we go again.
Off into a, I would say, low energy start from my perspective. I'm feeling a little tired.
Oh, yeah, me too. But I feel energized with by the possibility that we have a great conversation right now, an intro to this podcast.
Yeah.
That people are listening to right now, and they're enjoying it.
They're already enjoying it now.
They hear our voices, and they look out the window of their
This is all they want.
Honda Pilot or their bus.
That's a reliable
bus. And they think, wow, we're having fun now, huh?
Well, if they're not having fun already, I sort of understand, but they should stick around because we have a great show. We have April Richardson on the podcast this week.
April,
a lot of fun stuff. We talk Elvis, we talk England. I'll save it for the conversation. But right now, welcome to Groomzilla's. This is the only wedding planning podcast by grooms, for grooms, and everyone in between. That's Eric. I'm Dan.
I'm Eric. That's Dan. He does the heavy lifting. I do a touch of what? Scurvy?
Touch of color?
No, that's
not
a
scurvy.
Touch of color.
You get your vitamin C. Eric, I know why you're kind of low energy and down this week.
Why?
Well, does it have anything to do with this year's World Series?
Yeah, Dan, it does. Well, not really. Last year after they lost in heartbreaking fashion, at least this year it wasn't heartbreaking. At least this year they got the shit kicked out of them.
I agree. I agree.
I was like, oh, cool, we could just turn this off.
Yeah, and the whole season leading up to it felt like it was not the same as 2017 anyway, so.
No. I found my poem that I wrote last year after Game 7 debacle.
I remember.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. It was a good poem.
But it goes like this. Even though we hurt like we played it, listen close still and you can hear Scully say it. Here gone now for us to remember that summer the Blue played in nearly November. How they ran and smashed, lit up the nights. I nearly lost my head in delight. But fear not, no, not Cody or Corey, Puig, Kersher Hill could help me forget that I'm a loser still.
Okay. That was
That's
great.
the end of the poem. It's important to remember that you're a loser and that the world needs losers.
Okay.
I'm not saying you, Dan Gill, are a loser. Of course you're not. You're very handsome.
No, you've established that I'm a winner and I'm a Boston Red Sox person in human form. I'm the Boston Red Sox.
You're not the Boston Red Sox. You're not the Boston Red Sox. I met a lot of Boston Red Sox.
Maybe one of the most insulting things anyone has ever said to me.
You know what? One time Drew's mom said that I should be a movie critic. That was the most insulting thing anyone's ever said to me. And I felt
I get it.
I get that. That I should be a movie critic?
You would light up like on a morning show, like a Gene Shalit. I think it's because there's a little Gene Shalit thing going on.
It's not because people think I'm an asshole.
No. You'd be like the friendly morning show, like, hey, should we go see the new Queen movie?
Oh my God. That piece of shit? No, don't go see it. Do me a favor. Why don't you, instead of seeing the new Queen movie, do yourself a favor. Look at your pee before you flush it down the toilet.
Wow.
No, that's not.
That might be too hot for the morning. That might be coming in.
Is that too much? No, but that's the worst thing. I get how you could be insulted if someone called you a Boston Red Sox fan or a Boston Red Sox, but that's not what I said.
Okay.
I just said that you were a winner, and the Boston Red Sox are also winners. But there's a bunch of winners. Bobby Flay's a winner. Janine Garofalo's a winner. Yahoo.com, that's a winner.
Yeah. Okay.
The Roomba, NBC Television, lots of winners. There's lots of winners, Dan.
Okay.
It's not just you and the Red Sox.
All right.
It's not just you and the Red Sox. Danny Putty.
Danny Putty? Pewdy from Community? I think he went to Marquette.
We'll cut that out. I didn't know how to say his name when I started saying his name.
Hold for edit. Eric, I'm
So
just...
this point, what's up, Dan? What's up, man? Let me have it. Let me have it, Dan.
What do you need?
I deserve it.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
That was a beautiful poem. Thank you for sharing that.
It is a good poem, right? And
Yeah.
I think it's fun to say it every October when the Dodgers lose in the playoffs.
I forgot that you go into some Vin in there, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the clock right now, though, Eric.
Is it?
Yeah, it's time already. It's time again for the nuptial news. It's the Nup News at 9. This is the Nup News at 9 with Eric and Dan. Try to listen on the nines, dipshits. Look at this headline, Eric. Look, I read this this morning. This is from Newsweek. I got a headline for you.
Yeah.
Florida bride discovers maggot burrowed in her groin.
Wow.
Florida bride discovers maggot burrowed in her groin. Went to
Hey, love is love. Love is love, Dan. Okay? People get to marry whoever they want. Okay?
Yeah, the groom's name was Harold. That's a good. That should be. I hope I hear that one on late night tonight. That'd be a fun. I wonder what Corden would do with a setup like that.
With a maggot bride. Here's a funny story. Here's a funny story out of Florida. A bride was found with a maggot in her groin. And report is that
Find it.
the happy couple is on they said it's maggot it's
Why did you go with the joke you already made?
the honeymoon is
Love is love.
The happy couple is honeymooning in Maggotville. Maggotville.
So, funny news from Florida this week. Big surprise coming from Florida, right? But Florida bride discovers a maggot burrowed in her groin. Yeah. I guess the groom's name is Harold.
I don't get that joke.
The groom is maggot. The wording isn't there. Let me try that again. The Florida there was a Florida bride discovers a maggot burrowed in her groin. A Florida bride discovered a maggot burrowed in her groin. The groom's name is Harold. Because the maggot is her husband. Is there something there? Our writers suck shit. There's gonna be hell to pay.
I got another one. Here's a heartwarming story for you. We'll end on this. A heartwarming story out of Florida. Bride was found with a maggot that had burrowed itself into her groin. The family of the bride ecstatic that she found a Florida judge. Political. A maggot.
Alec doesn't. It sounds like Alec didn't get that one either. We need new writers.
A maggot could be a judge in Florida.
Okay. So okay. So that's a shot at the Florida judicial system. Yeah,
political.
I feel bad for April Richardson because we're really just torpedoing her episode right now.
Oh no, people know after they talk to us, they know not to listen to the podcast.
No, but I just hope people aren't turning in for April and they're just like, I gotta.
I think people are intrigued by the possibility of doing this podcast, and then they come and they talk to us for an hour, and then they leave and they go, "Oh, that's cool. At least I don't have to listen to this stupid podcast because it's gonna be dumb."
Just to close up that Nup News story, the Florida bride went to Belize for her honeymoon, and they rode horses, and that's where the botfly, the botfly found its way into her groin. So happy honeymoon to them. And I think I'm going to close up the Nup News on
talk about being on the rag, huh?
Yeah.
All right. There's something there. I like the writers' room for the late night.
Yeah.
That's like there's something there. Like they do. I think it's like that's also how I define my comedy career. It's like it's not really a joke, but there's something there.
Yeah.
We don't have to come up with it. We could just say it.
Two more talented comedians will find that joke.
Oh my God, Comedy Bang Bang would have destroyed that story. John Daly would have come up with a cool thing.
That's a good podcast. Oh, there is one more Nup News headline I want to share from Town and Country. Sharon Tate's iconic baby doll wedding dress is going up for auction. in case you want to get the haunted wedding
Yeah.
dress.
Nothing says happy anniversary, baby. Here's a haunted what? Here's a haunted baby doll dress of a woman who was murdered.
But don't worry, it was one of the most famous murders ever. So you won't be reminded of it constantly. Put on the dress. It's cool.
Come on, let's go grab a drink.
That is the Nup News at 9. That was the Nup News at 9. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bow.
Did you dress up for Halloween?
No.
It's Halloween.
Yeah, it was Halloween.
It was Halloween just a couple of days ago.
Just prior. I put on a wig. I saw you. I saw you were dressed up as a very, very flamboyant bird, a big bird.
A flamingo.
Not a bird, not big bird, a flamingo.
Not big bird.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
No.
I was a flamingo.
You look great. Did you go trick or treating and stuff?
We went trick or treating in the small Northampton, Massachusetts.
Oh.
Very quaint college town that is very lovely, and I love it. And they had a town parade.
What are the colors like? What are the fall colors like up there? Have they dropped?
Oh my God! You mean the foliage?
The foliage.
The foliage was, in a word, shattering. It was shattering, my friend. When we were pulling in, we were flying in Southwest Airlines every single time.
Okay.
Gets there, and the flight attendant's coming over, telling me to put my thing up, seat back, tray table, all that. And I'm just sitting there shattered because I'm looking at the foliage flying in.
You got the reds, you got the yellows.
The reds, the yellows, the browns, because the browns is what really gets me. And I just lost it. I said I can't take God's beauty sometimes.
Right.
I said something to that effect to the flight attendant, and the flight attendant said,
That sounds like a beautiful way to spend an autumn holiday like Halloween. Color me jealous.
Yeah, you should be jealous. It was beautiful.
Do you want to set up this new segment we're doing this week, Eric? Because
I'm actually really excited about this. I'm a big innovator, and I love innovation, and I love segments.
Sure.
One thing about innovation that is very important is when you're doing a podcast that's innovative, then you need a bunch of segments. More segments, the better.
Yeah.
We have First Impressions, which is a huge hit.
Runaway hit.
Huge cult following.
Yep.
Not a regular following.
Nope. But
cult following.
The boards light up every time we do that. People love First Impressions.
And so, we got our Rocky Horror Picture Show. Now
we got Nup News just right across the plate. Big hit.
Right.
Standard.
Nup News. That's your nightly. That's your old tried and true. Tried and true. But I feel like we need a big segment, something that's gonna, like a Titanic of something like that, or like a Good Will Hunting, something that's like gonna take the people.
A movie from 1997.
Yeah. Something huge.
Okay.
Back when big stuff mattered.
Right. Right. What do you got?
And so I'm thinking it's a commercial world.
Wait, what? Say that again.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a commercial world.
Out there. Just out there in the world. It's a commercial world we live in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you watch a lot of television like I do, you'll see a lot of commercials, and you're always thinking about commercials. And you go on auditions for commercials. One day I hope to get an audition for a commercial. And I think it's fun.
Didn't I bring you with me on a commercial audition one time?
You did. I think I cost you. That was like, what are you doing?
Was that was the one that they yelled at Colin, right?
I think they yelled at, I think that you brought your two of your ugliest, weirdest friends and David Van Huysen. And they were like, what? Why do you have one normal friend, and why did you bring your two weird uncles that are clearly dying?
I remember it being a lot of fun, but I think Colin.
It was a lot of fun.
Colin is the one who really pissed off the director on that one to like a very comical degree. Got yelled at in the room, but yeah, as you were saying, commercial world. We live in it.
We live in a commercial world, and guess what, baby? I'm a commercial girl. and I love talking about commercials. I love thinking about commercials. So I said, I think I texted you something to this effect of like, Eureka, I found it. Mm-hmm. And then you were like, I found one. And I said, I don't know. I forgot. And then the next day I remembered, and it was a commercial world.
Okay, so now
so that's a new segment.
Our brand new segment. Hit it loud and hit it proud. Give me that title one more time. This is...
It's a commercial world. Oh, it's a commercial world. I am a commercial girl. It's a commercial world.
And I am a commercial girl.
And then you would say, ideally, you would come in with a really big, and now it's a commercial world.
And now it's commercial world.
It's a commercial world.
And now it's a commercial world. Well,
like,
I'm doing it. We're recording this right now.
Do it better. Do it like,
hey, man. It's a and now it's time for... Oh, my God. And now it's time for... It's a commercial world.
A little bigger, but that was really good.
Okay, let's just get to the actual seg because we got to
just do it a little, just one more time, a little bigger.
And now it's time.
So close.
And now it's time for It's a Commercial World.
You know what I'm going to say.
You're running the clock on the segment itself. It's just going to be the opening.
Just do it again. Just do it again. One more time. And you know what you did wrong on that one.
And now it's time for It's a Commercial World. Why don't you do it, you jackass?
Because you have the velvet voice, and I am the seer.
All right.
Of
this is a new segment. This is a new seg we're introducing this week. It's a commercial world where Eric and I talk commercials. Eric, I know you got a bottle full of hits. Why don't you just uncork that thing and let it spray?
I mean, right now, my favorite commercial in the game by far is the new Jim Beam starring Mila Kunis. I think for going on, I think it's like 3 or 4 years now, Mila Kunis has quietly been the best spokesperson.
Yeah.
In commercial game, like the Mila Kunis Jim Beam commercials, I can go on and on about. I don't want, just look them up.
Yeah.
This new one is incorporating a couple, and it's also incorporating bourbon culture, which I think anyone who's been to a bar, and speaking as a person who loves bourbon and Jim Beam.
I love Jim Beam. Yeah. Not a sponsor.
I got to tell you, here's what I'll say. Let me distill it down to this.
Okay.
This commercial worked on me.
Uh-huh.
Distill.
Did you not even know you were doing that?
No, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
All right.
But that's what you're there for. You catch it.
Yeah, I caught it.
It really just made me.
Did you go out and buy a bottle?
I literally saw that commercial, and I turned to my hun. I said, "Hun, I'm really craving a Jim Beam right now."
Yeah? Did you go get one?
Yeah, we got a Jim Beam Black, and it's pretty smooth.
Wow, it worked on you. Okay, that's a good commercial.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Here's a bad one. Can I go with a bad one?
Okay, yeah, but then I'm going to follow with a bad spokesperson.
No, you go.
I just want to. You're saying Mila Kunis has quietly become the greatest spokesperson of the past few years. You know who's really bad?
Who?
Jen Garner. Just so bad with just over the top, way too animated. Yeah, Capital One. I think she does Capital One.
And I'm not gonna. I mean,
she's bad. You can say she's bad.
She's starting to look a little. The tan that she's got, and the tan plus the coloring of that last commercial that she did, looked a little fishy to me.
The one where she's in the library shushing people and she's whispering, she's just overacting.
Yeah,
I don't know. Very, very unfortunate because I do like Jen Garner. What about the one? Have you seen? I believe it's an Audi commercial. I believe it's an Audi. You got the guy saying, "Oh, what I've witnessed, the things I've seen." And
God. Oh, no. Wait. Freedom is my mother and invention is my father. And then
it's the bald guy? But you know who that is? The actor in that Audi commercial? It's the Wiz from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I'm the Wiz.
We're talking two different commercials.
Oh,
There's another it's for a Jeep. I'm thinking of a Jeep commercial.
Oh, okay. Oh, God. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, are you having a midlife crisis?
Yeah.
Do you sort of remember the 60s? Are you a fucking huge yuppie now?
For sure.
But you think you're Jack Kerouac?
Yeah.
And now you want to fuck your family by getting this ridiculous fucking SUV?
Yeah.
You're still cool. Mm-hmm. You listen to music.
Everything in all advertisements is basically saying you're still cool.
You're still cool.
That's every ad. Hey, you're still cool.
And then the fucking, have you seen the Kaepernick Nike commercial?
Yeah, of course. Wait, the big one? Yeah, the one that everyone got mad about, and they started banning the Nikes
Yeah, it didn't really. I hadn't really seen it
or boycotting the Nikes.
because I was.
Oh yeah, that's a great commercial.
I hadn't seen it, and then it came on during a Laker game, and then the part about LeBron kills me.
Yeah.
And then he takes it to Serena.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm out of here.
I will say that's Cap narrating that whole commercial, right?
Yeah.
Not a great.
We got a little voice.
Not a great voice.
We got a little voice.
Not a great voice.
I think
Cap.
it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's cute.
It's a good ad.
You know?
Yeah. Did you want to talk about my ad?
Oh, you do commercials.
Did you want
Oh my god.
Let's bring it up naturally if it does. Do you want to talk about me?
Did your commercial come on during game 1?
It did. Yeah. I was carrying
and
a baby.
we were texting.
Yeah, and we were texting.
We were literally texting.
Yeah.
About the game, and then there you were.
There I am. Yeah. I'm in I don't even remember. Oh, Farmers Insurance. I'm carrying a baby.
I said, "Hon, I think it's Danny." Hon, I think Danny's got a new commercial on.
You're gonna miss him. Hurry! Oh, it's go.
Oh, you missed him.
It's
you
over.
This is a commercial for Pizza Hut. I don't see Dan. It's some ethnic. It's an ethnic couple.
It's one of these ethnics. Yeah.
I did there's a guy that I did a video with this young girl where it was like a video about a kid being a foodie, and I play a real foodie, and the kid is like a kid playing a foodie.
Yeah,
so it's really funny. But her dad, who's also there on set, is just killing he's in so many commercials. It blows my mind. He's in that Pizza Hut commercial. Oh, we went a little too long with the commercial world.
Okay, I didn't know we were talking about a Pizza Hut commercial for real. I thought that was part of a bit. Do you want to say anything about Shaq and his ring commercial, or should we save that for next week?
Shaq's a cop. If you want to buy fucking
general insurance,
a commercial. Well, the generals have a tone. Shaq is worth probably close to $1 billion at this point, but he's in these general commercials that looks like they're made at the city college.
They're very cheap. They're very cheap.
It looks like a commercial I would do. It doesn't look like one of your commercials.
They're below Shaq, and that's saying because Shaq is in like Gold Bond commercials. Shaq does everything, but then he starts popping up in these generals. It's like, come on, Shaq.
Put Shaq on the down on the low block, will you?
Okay.
Where did you work with a real baby the entire day on your commercial?
Yeah, I was carrying a real baby, and it hurt my arm. It was a heavy baby, and I was carrying it through.
Babies are fucking hairy.
Yeah.
What was your commercial for again?
It was for farmers. Look for it.
Yeah.
And this has been It's a Commercial World.
It's a commercial world, and I am a commercial girl. Radio. Well,
that was a fun segment, Eric.
What'd you think? I was really nervous because this thing is kind of my baby. There's a lot of moving parts on it, and I was really nervous about what you think.
No, I understand. I understand.
Baby too. Yeah,
yeah. And we brought it into this world, and it's a healthy little baby we got there. And
I'm just so excited.
Let's feed it.
So excited.
Let's feed it and nurture it and care for it.
This segment is why we got into podcasts.
It's why we do a wedding themed podcast.
This is the kind of innovative stuff that you have to do. You have to think about the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's out there.
Yeah,
the sky's the limit.
You got to keep the listeners curious and coming back.
You got to be curious, and you got to always wonder, what does the face of God feel like? Can I touch the face of God?
Well, that's what we're doing in commercial world.
And when you come and when you get when you find something like it's a commercial world, you kind of for a second feel like you're closer to touching the face of God, and it feels good.
Yeah, I think the listeners are going to be right there with. If you have any commercials you want us to talk about on Commercial World next week in the weeks ahead, groomzillas@gmail.com. Hit us up.
Yeah. What's up?
I was just
going to talk about more commercials that I like.
Okay, yeah. Let's wet the.
Well, we should save that.
No, wet the whistle. What are you thinking?
Stick and stay, kids, because after the commercial break, we're going to talk about more commercials. And I love these new Geico commercials they got where the people act like dads. That's fun. And so, that kind of stuff I want to talk about.
I auditioned for it. I auditioned for that.
Oh, how did you know? Because you're too good looking. You're too hot.
I'm the Boston Red Sox, baby. Right now.
No. You're the Cubs.
I'll take that. What do you think about this guest? Let's get to April Richardson.
I'm really excited. She is a very interesting person. I love talking to her, and I think you're going to love listening to us talk to her.
Yeah, let's go to that. This is April Richardson in studio in the spacious Forever Dog Studio. All right, welcome back to Groomzillas. We're here in the spacious Forever Dog Studios with the great April Richardson. Hi, April.
Hi, how's it going?
Good.
Hi, April.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Of course. How are you doing today? Yeah, we're seated like this.
Hi. I'm good. I'm trying to get unfrustrated because it took me so long to get here, but other than that, I'm good.
Oh yeah, you're fine. You can
take your time.
Yeah.
Let's just ease into this.
Yeah, let's.
I've had a pretty frustrating couple hours. I mean, I wasn't driving around in traffic, but you know.
Oh, what happened to you, Eric?
I'm just my normal self. just doing stuff.
Frustrated by life.
Yeah.
Just doing stuff is hard.
No,
Right.
no elaboration needed. A day in the life of Eric.
Puttering around. I tried to make rice. It didn't work out so well.
Well, it's difficult, that rice.
Short grain rice.
I drove over here because I just came from an electronics recycling place, which is actually nearby here.
Sick.
Oh.
To already tie it to the topic, I'm selling all my stuff so I can move in with my future husband.
Okay.
So what I can't sell, I'm recycling.
Smart.
But it's such a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I would die of guilt though if I just like threw things on the curb. So I'm like individually researching how to recycle like each thing. Like I looked up how to recycle my old file cabinets, and you got to take them to like a metal recycler.
Yeah.
So
good for you though. Way to go.
this isn't. I mean, yes, you guys, the Earth is welcome, but it's taking for fucking ever because it's like I got to drive to each of these. These places are all over the place.
Yeah.
So
that's why most people just throw it on the curb and say, screw the planet.
Yeah, but it's like, I can't, there's so much, I'm like, what am I going to do? Just go throw this into the ocean? Like I have to go be responsible.
I mean, that would be poetic. That would be poetic as hell.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I feel like you have a room full of like synthesizers.
You're not far off. You're not far off. And I really did I do have like old instruments, and I have, the stuff that I can give away, like I'm giving a friend my bass guitar. Like I'm giving things away that are intact. But like old, I did, and this is how old I am now, that I just dropped off a Nintendo Power Pad.
Okay. Whoa.
From when you had the Olympics game, and you could run on it.
Yeah.
And I'm so old. Like the guys that worked at the recycling thing were like, "What is this?" And then when I'm like, "It's a Nintendo," they're like, "What is that? What is that?" Like they didn't know any of the things I was dropping off.
That seems like something you could sell on eBay or something.
Well, I didn't. Some of the stuff I'm trying to sell, and some of it is so. It's like, what am I gonna get? Like $20 for? Like, do you know what I mean? Like the effort of trying to sell it. I did find in the back of my closet an entirely intact and working Teddy Ruxpin.
Whoa.
With several
How long have you lived in your place?
Like a very long time. And it's all these things that were like high up on a shelf in a closet that I've not touched in decades.
Yeah.
So I am definitely going to try to sell that though.
Yeah.
Because I have like, it was in this huge bag. I'm like, what's in this bag? I'm like, Teddy Ruxpin. 4 stories. You know how the cassettes came in like books? So I have like 4 of those. Yeah, I'm gonna try to sell that, but so I keep finding things that I got to get rid of.
Could you work Teddy Ruxpin into your wedding somehow? Like make a tape and have him talk? Maybe do the officiating.
I will say that when I had it, it brought back instant memories of when I did have it. I put NWA tapes in it.
Whoa.
I made Teddy Ruxpin say "fuck the police." I totally did. I totally put like rap tapes in him.
You should do that and just leave it outside like the LAPD, like downtown, like the glass house
That's
downstairs.
my resistance.
Yeah.
Active resistance.
Is that how it would work? You could put in any sort of tape and it would just move his mouth?
Yeah, because his mouth just goes up and down.
Yeah, it's not matching anything.
If you just press play on anything, it just goes up and down.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want
I
to
want to see the robot like bomb squad like trying to like Teddy Ruxpin.
They want all the gear and everything,
Yeah.
and then it's just a Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah, the threat is neutralized.
There's like a homeless dude in the back.
Man, that's great. Well, how long have you lived in your place? if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, my current apartment, I've lived there almost 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
Fuck yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
big move. That's fun.
That's like 30 years LA time.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, because I got a
That's a long
rent-controlled
time.
apartment, so I was
Exactly.
like, I can't afford to ever leave.
Yeah.
So,
it's
yeah.
like golden handcuffs at a
Yeah,
certain point.
yeah, for sure.
Have you guys?
But you're doing it for love. You're
Yeah,
moving for
that's
love.
Doing it for love.
How long have you been engaged?
Since August?
Of this year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But we've only been dating since June.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. I like it.
And I'm
I like
moving
it.
to England.
For him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa. This is
So tomorrow I have to go to the visa place because I have to like turn in all my paperwork. Like the process of doing that is the most insane thing I've ever done. It's like
Yeah.
no exaggeration, like 500 pages of documents because we have to prove that it's real and that's not like a green card
sham.
setup.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've had to, which is you guys, like we both have to write this step. It's like I did all this research and I found this one lady. Thank the fucking God for this lady because she wrote a blog step by step, like this is how I did it.
Yeah.
Because the government sites are so confusing. So we have to both write letters to a stranger. It's like, dear customs person, I promise I'm really in love and this isn't fake. And
Wow.
like I had to print out all these pictures. We had to print out like screen grabs of our texts and emails
like prove the
to
history of the
prove
relationship.
that we're not faking. Yeah.
And they're like, wow, how come you've only known each other since June?
Well, exactly. That's the thing is we had to prove that we knew each other like online,
That
but
makes
then
sense, yeah.
we had like he's met my parents, so I had to like print out pictures of him hanging out with like my grandma to be like clearly it's not fake.
Right.
I wouldn't let a stranger meet my grandma.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's really the weirdest thing of all time
That
to
means-
try to convince a stranger who could still say no. Like the wildest part to me is that like a stranger could get all these documents and pictures and look at them and
Yeah.
go, you know what? I don't believe you.
Not
You can't live
convinced.
here.
They just like
Yeah.
they just like didn't have lunch that day yet.
Yeah.
And they're like, no,
yeah.
you've been dating since June. No, didn't
Yeah, like
no.
we don't believe you. So it's
Yeah.
it's really
Wow.
weird.
That makes me think there's people out there who go through all those steps and like Photoshop pictures, like who are doing the green card weddings.
Right.
Like how do they get
Well,
by that?
I will say, now doing it, I bet the annoying level of the process would make anybody quit. Like if you
Yeah.
were faking,
Yeah.
what the amount of shit I've had to do in the past couple
it.
weeks, I'd have been like, you know what, it ain't worth it.
Yeah.
Let's figure something else out because the amount of paperwork and things like Martin had to send me like a year's worth of his bank statements. Oh, and you can't send any copies. I had to get my
you have to
original
find
birth
the
certificate from my mom. I had to send them my last 3 passports. He had to go to the bank to get a year's worth of bank statements, and the bank guy had to stamp each one of them to be like, I promise he got these from the bank.
Right.
Like it's
Why?
wild.
Why?
Wow. And then you
Yeah.
get those back eventually, like your birth certificate and stuff?
Well, yeah, you
must.
have to send copies. You have to send the original and a copy if you want anything back.
Okay.
So if I were to like forget to send a copy of my birth certificate, they just would keep it. It's insane. It's insane.
That sounds.
And it's on both. It's on both sides. It's American customs agents and
Well,
is it like European or is it just England? Like British? people?
it's just the UK.
the
Like I'm
UK.
sending
Yeah.
all of this to the UK, but it's framed in a way that like he's my sponsor. It's
Yeah.
so he has to prove that if I move over there and I can't get a job, that he can afford to like pay all of our bills. Because I think it's
Yeah.
set up to be like you better
I
not
see,
be
I
a
see, I
drain
see.
on our
Yeah.
economy.
Yeah. Ugh.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's
Okay.
weird.
This is like you're buying a
that's
house,
exciting.
but like more complicated.
Yes. Way more complicated.
You're buying a kingdom. You're buying a kingdom.
But I will say, you guys, the funniest part is that I had to pay a fee. You have to pay an NHS fee. So, but the way that it's worded, the National Health Service, they're like, we're sorry, you're going to have to pay this fee up front. And it's like a fraction of what we pay to go to the doctor one
Right,
time.
right, yeah.
And it's a fee to get healthcare for like an entire year.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's not a problem. I'll definitely pay that fee.
I can do
Yeah.
that. So that's exciting, though. That's like a lot
Yeah,
of
that is
change quickly, and like
Yes.
then you're like launching off into your married life.
Yes.
And it's all new
Yes.
because you've never lived in England, have you?
I have, but
Really?
not like, yeah, when I was in high school, I technically did, but I did the thing where it's like I would go as long, without a visa, you can go for like 3 or 4 months at a
Gotcha.
time.
Yeah.
So yeah, after I graduated from high school, my best friend lives in Manchester, so I went there for like 3 or 4 months, come back, went there, came back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like sort of, but I've never had my own place. Like
Yeah.
we found a house to rent that like Martin finished
Yeah.
moving into already, and like so when I get there this time, I'll have a house.
In Manchester? In Manchester or London?
No, in Brighton.
Oh,
Oh,
Brighton.
Brighton.
Yeah, Brighton's where I'm going to be living.
Cool, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, what I know about you is like I feel like you have talked about British music so much that if you, I feel like when you're like they're like, oh, April, oh, finally, like
Well,
yes.
The most embarrassing part, I think, is that Martin was the lead singer of a band that I listened to in high school.
Whoa.
Wait,
So
what?
when we started dating, I had to be like, okay, I have to tell you that like I have all of your albums, and there were like pictures of you on my wall when I was 17.
What?
They were called Gene, Gene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Punk? Like a.
No, they were like they sound like Style Council or The Jam or
Okay.
Okay.
They taped a live album at the Troubadour.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
And they were your thing, and then
I was into them for sure. I mean, don't get weird. They weren't like my favorite band of all time or anything.
you've been
but, like,
stalking him for
yeah,
years.
that's the thing is I'm like, I promise I haven't.
Yeah.
No, it just was a coincidence, but yeah.
It worked out.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's weird.
So how did you meet him?
Well, we just knew each other internet style in that loose way that you do if you like follow people on Twitter or whatever. Like he
Gotcha.
followed me on
Right.
Twitter years ago, and I just remember being like, "Oh my god, cool, Martin!" And I followed him back,
Yeah.
but we didn't really like talk or anything.
Yeah.
Right.
When Twitter was fun.
Yeah, for real. It was
Yeah.
like back when people still told jokes on Twitter. Like we had a few interactions that way, but I just didn't think anything of it. Especially not in a way of like, I'm going to try to date this guy. Like, no, it just was like, okay, that guy's a cool guy. And then when I do go to England like once or twice a year to visit my friends, so I'm just there, and this is only getting more embarrassing. Okay, so I don't know if you
That's what
guys
we're
are.
here for.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know if you guys are aware of all things Morrissey like I once was, but he's like turned right wing, and it's a
No.
huge bummer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So-
I do remember hearing something about that.
And it really like broke my heart. So, but Martin wrote a thing about it, like an actual article for like The Guardian or a reputable place about like, oh, this sucks. Morrissey sucks now. And
Yeah.
I read it and was like, oh my God. I just DM'd him because I was like, dude, I am also tripping
Yeah.
over this. I also wrote a thing about how like Morrissey broke my heart and I'm really bummed about it or whatever. And he was like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. And then I was like, I'm actually going to be in England because I was already going to be there in June for like this other thing. So I'm like, I'm going to be there in England if you want to hang out. But again, I swear, like genuinely not being like, yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
Like 100% being like, let's talk about this issue.
This is a Morrissey-based meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he was like, yeah, totally. Let's hang out. And then when I got there, I was staying with a friend of mine and, you know, Martin texted to be like, but he was like, let's go to dinner at what, like he, in a way that I was like, oh, wait a minute. I was staying with my friend Grant and I showed him the text because I was like, this guy's asking me on a date, isn't
Right.
he? And
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
friend's like, yeah, he definitely is. And I was like, okay. Like, didn't know that was going to be a possibility. And then, yeah, we met up and it was clear within 5 seconds it was a date. And
Right.
then,
He was the one stalking you.
yeah, basically. It was really funny. I don't know how much, if he'll be embarrassed that I say these things. It was actually really funny because I didn't, again, I knew of him and
Yeah.
like knew about him. And, but you know, didn't know like personal, I don't like Google people and stuff. Truly, I don't. Even just, I want to find out what people want to tell me.
Yeah.
Like even when I've gone on like Tinder dates and stuff, I don't Google them because I'm
Right.
just like, that seems like an unfair. I don't like showing up to a place going, I know everything about you,
Yeah,
so
right.
now what? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I just like
It's
to,
just a line you can't uncross. Like once you
Yeah.
cross it, it's like it's game over, and it's just better to like do that in person.
yeah, it just
Just this one thing.
yeah, absolutely. So I didn't really know any details or whatever. So we sat down and I was just like, hey, how's it going? Like, what's going on with you? And he was like, well, I'm single. It was like the first thing he said.
Coming out guns firing.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, so this is a date then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, I was there for a month and we just kind of never
Okay.
left each other's side for that time.
Yeah, so you kind of put it in like the fast track as far as relationship because you knew there was like a time you were going to be going back, maybe.
Well, I honestly, I came back because I had planned this tour. I had like nothing going on. So, but I had planned a tour because I thought, I was like, if I don't plan this tour, I'm just going to sit on my couch all summer and do nothing.
Yeah.
Had I not had that tour, I would have just stayed. Like I didn't. Yeah, I mean, when I don't know. The only reason I'm hesitant to say everything is because I don't want to like embarrass him or whatever. But
Right.
when I was leaving, he was he was trying to not be forward. Like, he was trying to be like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be weird, but, and I'm like, dude, I'll move here tomorrow. Like, this
Yeah.
is not weird.
Yeah.
Like, I was on the same page completely, but then I was like, but I got to
Awesome.
go do this tour. So then I did, and then as soon as I was done, he came to LA, and then I went back. Like, we went back and forth, and then, he's like, why don't we get married? I'm like, definitely. And then naively, I was like, no problem. I'll just go home and pack up my shit and I'll be there. And then when we looked up the process, that's when it was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Okay.
like this is going
Little more
to
to
take
it.
a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was there?
Really grinds the romance down to a halt.
Yeah,
real
especially
fucking
when you
fast.
have to like do spreadsheets about your
Yeah.
romance.
Yeah,
and you're
especially
like,
when
and
it's
then-
like-
that shit was romantic as fuck. And then you're like, oh, wait.
yeah.
It was
You have to,
going so
turn-
fast
You
and it
literally
was-
have to turn in the romance.
Yes.
Be like, no.
Yes.
We are really, this is real. Ugh.
This whirlwind and
But-
like, well, let's wait for this weather to calm down and we'll figure this all out.
Yeah.
So was there?
That's so exciting, though.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What was there an actual like proposal, like romantic proposal, or was it just as casual, like you just said, like we should get married?
We did that, but then he did actually propose to me, which was really nice because I've been married before.
Okay.
When I was younger, but I was not proposed to. I had
Okay.
bought my own ring.
Oh,
it was very
yeah.
unromantic.
Yeah.
And so, he did get me a ring and propose because he knew that I had never experienced that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it was very sweet.
Perfect.
That's great. Do you do
Yeah.
it at dinner or something? How do you do it?
No, we went to a park. We were just like hanging out in this park in West Hollywood on a nice day, and he did it then. And it was really sweet because a lady was walking her dog like at that exact moment, like this total stranger who was like, oh my God, like was like, oh, I'm sorry to pry, but I totally overheard. And we're like, no, it's cool. And then she took pictures of us because she was like, I'll do, since she just happened to be
There's
walking
always
by.
people like that who are just like
Oh, yeah.
become part of the story.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
love
she
love.
was nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was nice.
That is nice. So as far as the wedding goes, how big is that going to be once you get through all this bureaucratic nonsense?
Well,
Have you talked about it?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like we started, because now also this costs a lot of money.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? Just
already.
the process
I
itself?
had to call and borrow money from my parents.
just
Yeah.
to become.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
just a loan to apply for a visa is like $3,000.
Oh wow.
And then
Because they really don't want you to. They
basically,
really just want you to be like, just stay there.
Yes.
It sucks over here too, man.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I really think that is part of it,
Yeah.
and I feel terrible. Like as I'm doing it, I don't know how. I mean, I'm not rich by any stretch, but I'm not destitute. I have parents where if I need to borrow money, if you're poor,
But
I
actual
don't.
poor people,
you're
yeah.
so fucked.
Yeah.
Like,
And that shit happens every single day.
Yes,
By like
yes.
the thousands. It's so sad.
yes,
Yeah.
and it's such an I mean, I've only thought about these things like until I'm deep in it. It's like, yeah, if you're poor and you just happen to fall in love with somebody who lives on a different patch of land,
Yeah.
good luck. Good
Yeah.
luck
Yeah.
living together
Yeah.
because a person in an office gets to decide whether or not you do after you give them thousands of dollars. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a weird. That's so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
It's
So-
super weird and dumb.
We have talked about it. It's going to be at Graceland.
Oh my God.
Oh, sick! Yeah.
It's going to be at Graceland. 1,000%.
TCB.
1,000%. Martin
great.
Yeah.
is the only person I've ever known as obsessed with Elvis as I am.
Yeah.
And he's never been to Graceland.
Oh really?
So I was like, how about the first time you go to Graceland, we get married there?
Hell yeah.
So we are, and by the way, that's like way cheaper than like a regular air quotes
Venue.
wedding.
Yeah. So they do. That's something they do at Graceland.
All right. It's not, but here, I'll tell you guys, don't anybody listen to this rip me off. I will punch you in the face. Okay, when you go look up to get married at Graceland, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's like you could get married on the chapel that's like a mile away, and I'm like, fuck that. I'm
Yeah.
getting married on the property.
Uh-huh.
So I called, but then if you look on the site, there's a thing where it's like you can do after hours tours. It's like if you have a big group, just your group can do the tour. So I called the special events lady because I was like, all right, hear me out. Here's what I want to do. I'm like, what if, and the lady to her credit was like really cool because I was like, what if I get the group jam?
Yeah.
I'm like, I want, 50 people to do the tour and that's like only us and our friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if in the middle of it, we just kind of like go to the side and get married real quick?
Yeah.
And then keep going with the tour.
Yeah.
And the lady, again, she was super nice and she laughed. She was like, you're technically not allowed to do that. She was like, if any of the tour guides catch you, like, getting married, they'll
Yeah.
stop it. Because, like, you're not supposed to do stuff, like, on the property.
Right. Yeah.
But she was like, if you do it like, I don't know if you guys been to Graceland. It's on like a street. So
Right.
like, she was like, you can do it in front of the front gate and no one can stop you because that's like a public sidewalk.
Okay.
So we might do that.
Like
the
before
plan-
the tour or after the tour?
Maybe after the plan, like my friend's going to get ordained or whatever because it's just going to be like a friend of ours.
Mm-hmm.
And if where his grave is, there's like these things where it's like everybody can hang out outside. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, why don't we just go to the side, do it in front of his grave?
Yeah.
Like no one's going to notice because that's where people like hang out and take pictures anyway. So it's like you do the tour, we get married like 10 minutes on that
That's a
part,
really good
and
idea.
then like
Yeah.
leave.
I was going to joke
Yeah.
about doing it on his grave.
I joked about it too, and then I just recently on my tour went. I mean, for like the 15th time, went to Graceland because I was like casing
You've been to
it
Graceland
this
15
time.
times?
Yeah, because I grew up in Atlanta, where it's like not that far of a drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would drive there all the time.
Yeah.
But so this time I was like casing it, so I'm like, oh, this would be a good part. This would be a good part. This would be a good part. And then at the grave, I was texting him like, hey, would that be too grim? And he's like, no, that's rad.
Yeah.
And there's like enough room that maybe people won't notice.
Yeah. I like working death into marriage. I'll be honest about that.
I like working a tour group. I like I could just like hear like the heist music.
Yes.
In my head. Like,
Yeah.
And also,
we
it's
have to
like
do this.
I feel because again, there's going to be no walking down the aisle. There's going to be none.
Yeah.
There's going to be zero.
and you don't want that. You don't want any of that.
No,
Okay.
it's just going to be like we're going to be in the middle of the tour. We'll just be like, hold up a minute, ceremony real quick, and then
Yeah.
everybody keeps going with the tour. So I feel like that's not very disruptive.
No.
I feel like if you're a tour guide and you see that, you'd go, all right,
Yeah.
I get it.
So you don't get 86. You just like, you can't do that. Keep the
No,
tour
they
moving.
would probably just, exactly. They
Okay.
would come
Yeah.
up and be like,
But you said
"Hey."
like the end of the tour anyway, right? So like,
Yeah,
you could
his
at that
grave,
point be
like going outside is like the last part of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We haven't decided if we're going to do that or just do it on the sidewalk because of the risk. I mean, of course, it'd be a bummer if somebody came in the middle of us saying our vows and
Yeah. <laughs>
those you got to get out of here. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
Or just
So-
someone on the street
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
nice wedding.
Well, that I'm not really. I mean, if somebody does that, it's like,
Yeah.
whatever.
You're just getting
Well,
heckled.
people are just
Yeah.
going to try to serenade you. All like, there's just going to be like hella Elvis
But
impersonators, like trying to sing during your wedding.
Yeah, but that I almost and also I'm not wearing a white dress. It might not even be that obvious that a wedding is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh yeah, you should have your officiant dress up in the jumpsuit and like the whole nine.
yeah, I mean, like, well, I don't know if we're gonna do that.
Young
or have
Elvis. I go young Elvis. I go like blue blazer, like white shirt.
Well, that's what
Elvis.
Martin is doing. Martin is having
Yeah,
a blue
smart.
suit made.
Smart.
Yeah,
Smart.
yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
He didn't
Oh,
want to
it's
do
gonna
the
be
gold
so
suit,
sick.
Elvis,
No, he's doing like
or the '68 comeback tour, like just
oh,
leather
dude.
jumpsuit.
Just in June in Memphis. That'd be
Ooh, yeah.
amazing.
Oof, that's so hot.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, Beyonce kind of wears something like that. I was like, that reminds me of Elvis when like Beyonce has like that one black outfit that she wears. And it's
Well,
like,
you know
it's,
that Eddie Murphy, Raw, and Delirious, both of those outfits are entirely
Yeah.
modeled on the '68 comeback.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Eddie Murphy has
Yeah.
like an Elvis room at his house. He's like obsessed with
Oh
Elvis.
wow, I had
Yeah,
no
yeah,
idea.
Of
It's
course.
there's
Yeah.
always a bunch of people like Nick Cage is a big Elvis guy,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Elvis heads.
Joe
out there.
Strummer from the Clash.
Yeah, totally.
Wait, I'm dumb. This Graceland is outside Memphis, right?
It's in Memphis.
It's in Memphis. Yeah.
It's in Memphis.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
Memphis. I've never been. I really
And it-
want to go to Memphis.
And it's
like
a
one of
small.
my
It's like a
dreams.
small.
That's the
House.
thing is when you go. I remember that as a kid. Yeah, because back in the 50s,
The 50s,
that
a mansion was like-
mansion.
yeah.
And now,
Yeah.
All McMansions now
Yeah.
are like twice as big.
yes,
as it is.
isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Where you're like, oh, this guy
wow.
at one time was so rich, and then you go and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I have friends who live in houses bigger than this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's a great idea. I went there as a kid. I remember the shag carpeting and like a television room, but that's really about it. I don't remember too much.
The TV room is the dopest. That's the one that's like blue and yellow with the TCB lightning bolt painted on the wall and stuff. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
The TCB is my favorite.
Yeah.
Taking care of business, baby.
Yeah, dude. He designed that to put on his like karate outfits.
His gi.
Yeah. yeah. That's what that TCB and a flash thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was
on
like
there.
that was like on his plane and everything.
Yeah. And
Oh,
he had
man.
like necklaces made and
Yeah.
shit.
Do you have the
Yeah.
necklaces?
That was his FBI phase too, right? Was that when he was TCB?
Pretty much, yeah.
It
Memphis
was like
Mafia.
before that.
Marshall.
Yeah, I do have a
Yeah.
necklace. I have it on my. Actually, do I have it
no.
on my keychain? I do have it on my keychain. I want to get a tattoo of it too, but it's like everybody has that tattoo.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love TCB. That'd be fun. Like I don't know if you probably it doesn't sound like you can do a wedding party or anything.
No, I'm not gonna have like bridesmaids
Yeah.
or anything.
But that'd be a good parting gift for like just little TCB stuff for everybody.
Yeah, maybe we should. Well, this is really, I mean, both of us, this is mine and Martin's second marriage. So it's sort of, and we're much older.
Yeah, and
Like
wiser.
we just feel like old people. So the idea of me wearing white or something is like, who am I fooling? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I mean, we just gave away little buttons to like all the guests, so you could even do like a little TCB button. I just
Oh,
love
yeah, that's a
TCB
great
stuff.
idea. Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
It's yours.
How?
Wait, do
I
you
wanna
know what you're wearing? Sorry.
Well, I'm curious because it's rare that I talk about weddings with dudes.
Yeah.
Like, were you guys involved in the planning of yours?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
big time. Yeah,
Okay, good.
we're Groomzillas. That's why
Right.
we started a
Yeah.
podcast about it instead of helping our wives plan the wedding, and we just started.
But you guys had say in like the favors and everything.
Yeah, I came
Yeah.
up with the buttons idea for our wedding. That was about it. I tried to help, but that was the only one that got past the check.
The
Right.
buttons? You came up with the buttons? Is that what you're saying?
I came up with the buttons.
It was a good idea.
You surprised
We
by
didn't
that?
have any favors like that. We had a way smaller wedding, but I was like, and then Drew like found the place kind of on Insta. Like it's our friend's Airbnb Springs, but then like the logistics and stuff like that. Like we planned a lot of it.
You had like
together.
the reverse buttons where because they did Christmas in the desert, so they had
Oh,
people
cool.
bring
we had a
Christmas tree
Yeah,
ornaments
we had a theme with
as their
Christmas, yeah.
as like gifts
That's
for them.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Memphis, that sounds fun. Are you? It sounds like you might be circling a date or thinking about. How,
Oh, we already had the date and everything. But we are also paying for it. Like again, we're like grown as hell. So that's the
Yeah.
other weird. Like I can't ask my parents. But I want to, but then I'm like I can't because
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, yeah, right, you're 40. Like I'm not
Yeah.
paying for shit.
Yeah,
So
Well, you said you asked them for money.
they're
for
helping
the,
with the real. The,
yeah,
the
they
thing
did
you
help
really need.
with that. Please believe that came with such. My stepdad gave me the
I
biggest
bet.
lecture, and I wanted on the record. I've never. I was like, let the record show. I've never asked to borrow money as an adult. I
Yeah.
never have. And he was like,
Yeah.
okay, fine, that's true.
Yeah.
But like, of course, gave me a huge lecture.
Yeah,
So if that's a preview of what would happen
What's
if
to
we
come.
asked for the wedding money, I'm
Yeah.
like, never mind. So
Fuck it.
we got to pay for it all ourselves. So that's also a thing where we have to keep. But that's basically it would be to pay for everybody to get into Graceland. Our reception's going to be at a bowling alley.
hell yeah.
Sick.
Our
I was just
reception-
talking about bowling. I love bowling so
Yeah.
much.
Well,
I was going
I don't know if you guys know Chris Hardwick's dad was a professional bowler and owns his own bowling alley in Memphis.
What?
So he hooked me up Billy Hardwick's lanes.
Oh wow.
So that's where our reception is going to be.
Is it like a cool old kind of vintage bowling alley, like retro style, or is it one of these modern computer?
Oh, it just
bowling
looks
alleys?
like I mean, it's from like I think it's been open since like the 80s or
Perfect.
something.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, it's totally like old school.
Yeah.
So we have that for all night for our reception.
Oh, man,
so it's
that's
like
great.
That's awesome.
tour Graceland and then bowl all night.
That's everyone. Oh,
it's like
that's great.
We just want it to
Yeah.
be a fun party.
It sounds like you're planning well for that. How did you guys decide to get married in the States and move to England? Why was there ever a conversation where you're going to do the opposite, or he was going to come here?
No, Martin has kids, so
Oh,
he
okay.
can't move.
So they're
Yeah.
all in school.
And I'm also like, that's fine because
Yeah.
I don't have anything. I was going to move anyway. Before I met him, I was thinking of moving to Athens because
Mm-hmm.
that's a place where I can like actually afford a house and
Athens, Georgia.
Athens, Georgia.
This
Yeah,
is pretty
yeah.
recently. This is pretty recently. You thought about
Yeah.
this pretty
Oh
recently?
yeah. Like before, for like the past year, I don't know how grim. Like my career is not on fire.
No,
So I'm
not
kind of
either.
like winding down. Like I need to go move somewhere that I can actually afford to live.
Yeah.
And so, I had like a list of ideas with Athens because my parents still live in Atlanta, so it's like close enough to that. It's still
Yeah.
like it's a small town, but it's like cool enough that it has stuff
Oh
to
god,
do.
it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And
Yeah.
also, like, I have friends who live there. Like, my friend Robert was texting me because he's like, yo, I live in a 3-bedroom house. Like, his
Yeah.
mortgage is less than my rent.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So the wheels were in motion to just move somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I met him and he was kind of sweetly being like, I hope it's not too forward. I'm like, dude, I'm packing right now.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I'll move here. So yeah, there
Get
was
a
never
big
really.
ass fucking a big ass house with a wraparound porch.
Dude, we're renting a house, but I'm gonna be paying less rent to live in a house in England than
In London?
In Brighton.
No, in Brighton.
Brighton is not in London. Okay.
No, it's like 45 minutes away. It's on
Okay.
the coast.
Oh,
What bands are from Brighton?
Lots. Brighton is like the San Francisco of England. It's like
I was gonna say,
so
like-
cool looking.
Is that where? That's not where Amy Winehouse is from, right? Is that where
No, I
she's
think
from?
she was
She's
from
Can-
London. But
Okay.
it's like a 30-minute train ride to get to London. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
so not a big deal. But like yeah, all the buildings are like different colors and it's right on the coast. And yeah, it's
East
great.
Coast, West Coast,
The South Coast.
South Coast.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there like a Stray Cat song about Brighton? I feel like
Probably
there's
it's got like a huge rockabilly scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then that would make sense.
But yeah, it was kind of shocking when we found the house because I was like, I'm gonna live in as an adult, I've never lived in a house.
Yeah.
I've only lived in apartments.
It's a big
Yeah.
sacrifice you make living on the coast, like especially in LA.
Yeah.
It's just like, well,
Yes.
it doesn't get any better than this.
Yes.
I think it's just like for our gender, like we just like, you know, we've like lived in apartments for like fucking I've been living in apartments for almost 2 decades now.
Yes.
It's like you literally, I just read Parker Posey's book.
Oh, is it good?
And it is really good. It's
Okay.
really good. And she talks about how she's like lived in Manhattan, like in these apartments, and then she bought a house like in fucking like Woodstock or something,
Right.
With like tall ceilings.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, she literally just like felt herself like standing
Yes.
up straight.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I can't
'Cause
believe
that's a thing.
it
You
is.
fill the room you're in.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm
Yeah.
about to live in a place that has stairs. I've never had stairs
That's so rad.
in
I
a
know.
place that I've lived as an adult.
Yeah.
Like that's so
Yeah.
weird.
That's awesome.
yeah.
Maybe I should.
And
move
you guys
somewhere
can just
small.
start. I was just having this idea while you were talking. You guys can just start a Graceland over there. 'Cause, like they're gonna love it, and you can just pay for your wedding and for moving to England by just like it's like it'll be like Field of Dreams. Like they're gonna
Yeah.
all those teddy boys, all those like old ass teddy boys, are
Totally.
fucking
Totally.
critter out.
Yeah. I have always like the Graceland model has always been mine. We're like, hopefully one day the house I live in, you know, if I become a president, not happening, or if I become like somewhat
buddy.
successful, maybe my
Oh, bud. Oh,
will
bud.
become a
Never say
tourist
never.
attraction. I
You
just
know
want, I want my like Jesse James, like he's a murderer. I could become a famous murderer pretty
Sure, sure.
easily. So like just so where you're setting up, it's like okay, now his house is a tourist attraction. This is where this psychopath used to live.
You know what's weird? It's only
to
like a
come
week
through.
after going to Graceland, I went to Paisley Park. And they're
Oh,
so
wow.
different
Oh,
though.
sick.
Yeah,
I
it was
bet.
rad. It was rad. But Paisley Park is way more
It's huge, right?
It's like a
yeah, but it's like
compound
a
almost,
business.
right?
It's not. It doesn't have the feel. You're not allowed to go anywhere that like Prince lived.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good.
Like you can't go upstairs. You can't go upstairs at Graceland either. But when you're walking around, you're like, here's a dining room where he ate dinner. Here's where he watched TV. Like
Yeah.
Paisley Park, it's all business.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you can see. They let you like look into the kitchen, but you can't go in it. You can really only see like the recording studios.
It's like touring the
And-
White House or something. You don't go.
It's so strict,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
check all of your phones. You're not allowed to have a phone on you.
Oh.
We got the VIP pack. The only way you can get a picture inside is if you get this VIP package where they take a picture of you and then give it to you on a flash drive. Like it's so strict.
Why is it so locked
Yeah.
down?
I think
Because
just
his ghost is still there.
yeah.
His ghost is totally still there in that fucking elevator, and he's like, no.
Yeah, I think he's just like was such
was
a
just him.
private dude.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
and
that
he
just
knew.
carried
and-
on.
Yeah,
Yeah, like there was a.
And
It was awesome. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, it was rad, and we loved it. And it's like, oh my god, Prince. But like, there's a part of me that was like, I bet he wouldn't be psyched if he knew this was happening. Like, there's a part
Yeah.
of me that thinks he didn't want it open at all.
yeah.
Oh, because
Yeah.
it wasn't open when he was there
I agree
alive.
with that.
Yeah,
obviously.
like I think he was such a private dude.
yeah.
And Elvis wasn't that guy. Like Elvis.
Yeah,
loved
Elvis
that
was like,
shit.
"Come on
Like,
in, let's hang out."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
handing people Cadillacs on the
He
street.
was the opposite.
Yeah, yeah,
Like he hated being alone. I
yeah,
feel
exactly,
like.
exactly. But yeah,
Are there still Cadillacs at Graceland? You guys going to rent a Cadillac or something? Drive off into the sunset in a pink Cadillac?
you can see he has his. There's like a separate thing of all his cars. Like
Right.
you can tour his cars, you can tour his
Oh
plane.
my god.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do as far as like, I don't know. I'm. This is so no frills.
Yeah.
Like I don't know
Yeah.
if we're gonna. Yeah, we have to save money at every turn. So
Right.
if
So you
we
can't-
if we Uber to our own wedding, like cool.
Yeah.
Like I don't really care. I guess.
This is like the epitome of a destination wedding because it's like so about the actual it's
Yeah,
like a
oh,
pinpoint.
totally.
You're like dropping a pin
Yeah.
on this fucking map.
And we'll
Yeah.
have to, I mean, obviously going
I
all
love
that
that.
distance, like if people, and I don't really mind if people come. I've completely, as an adult, also know like it costs a lot of money to fly to Memphis. Like if you don't come,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be pissed.
Right.
But for the people that do, like, yeah, we'll try it. Like the night before, we'll go to like do the Sun Records tour and go
Yeah.
hang out on
Sick. I
Beale
wanna
Street
do-
and
Very
like,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. So and as far as like destination goes, like it's not just like, oh, we're going to Mexico. It's like this is who we are as a couple.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
It's
I'm as
speaks to you
excited
guys.
to show because Martin's never been to Memphis, so it's like just equally as exciting to just like show him around. And
Yeah.
then
That's
be like,
huge for an Elvis guy. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
gotta be like
yeah.
I want to go
He's
to
so
I want to go to
psyched.
Memphis so bad.
Yeah.
Memphis is fun. Well, there's like some old antique shop on Beale Street I went to when I was there. I barely remember any of Memphis. I was too young, but it's
Yeah.
a fun town. I had
Yeah.
a Beale Street sign in my bedroom for a really long time.
Oh, cool.
Beale Street.
Barbecue too, right? What are you guys gonna do for food? Just like the food at the bowling alley?
No, Martin's vegan,
Okay.
Okay.
so we're gonna have
Bowling alley food is not.
Yeah, that's not how it. But we are gonna. But my family, I come from a long line of rednecks, big time, and they're gonna be pit like Georgia redneck stock. So we think, and they don't know what podcasts are, so they'll never hear this. But we think we're gonna try to get like Impossible Burgers and then lie to them and be like, no, these are definitely real. Like
Those are
my
pretty
aunt and
close.
uncle and stuff like won't know.
Yeah.
Because if we
Yeah.
tell them it's vegan, they'll be dicks about it.
Yeah.
That's just how my
Yeah.
family is.
Right.
So if we're thinking like, let's just not tell them, and they won't know. They won't know. There'll definitely
Are they
be stuff.
that good? What I've never heard.
I've
of
heard
them.
they are. I haven't
Yeah.
tried them yet, but I've heard they're pretty close.
They're good, and they even like fake
They
bleed
bleed?
and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you truly wouldn't know. I don't know if
juice?
you've ever been to Crossroads on Melrose.
Oh, the clothing place.
Secondhand stuff?
no, it's a vegan restaurant.
Oh no, my buddy tried it at Umami. They have the Impossible Burger.
Oh, well, they had at Crossroads. I went once for brunch or something, and they had chicken and waffles. And I seriously, like, I called the waitress over to be like, I don't believe that this isn't fried chicken. Like, it was
Right.
that good
Yeah.
that I was like kind of freaked out. So
That's insane because chicken's always really bad. Like fake
Yes.
chicken has historically been.
I usually get creeped out. I'm not vegan. I'm vegetarian, but I'm not vegan. But I usually get creeped out by fake meat and like almost
Yeah.
never eat it. But yeah, the Impossible Burger, it almost creeped me out the other way because I'm like, this is so real.
Yeah.
Like, how is this bleeding?
It's funny that they make it bleed as if like carnivorous people are like, it tastes pretty good, but I miss that blood.
Yeah. I mean, so many people are like that though. There's
As
so
if
many
that's like
people,
the best part of a burger. So anyway, we're gonna try to get. I mean, it's going to be vegan, but we want to try to get the realest, fakest like barbecue and shit, so that it'll freak my family out.
Yeah.
And they won't bitch about it.
And that's a good idea, and you can just have like they'll just fill up on fries or whatever.
No,
If
we're
they
gonna
don't
have
like-
that, and then they'll go, "This is so good." And at the end of the wedding, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be like, "Guess what, suckers? It was vegan." And
Yeah.
I'll
That's
be
gonna be
pissed.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be fun if you
If
guys
they
both
come,
get
I
to
bet they
have
won't
that
come. I'm like super not close to my family. Like I don't even know if my
Yeah.
aunt and uncle even come, but if they do,
Yeah. And then when you drop that, you like throw a smoke bomb and you.
it was vegan, but mine free.
Are you guys gonna do anything? Are you just like moving right after, or are you gonna have?
No,
some
I'm
time
moving
to hang
like in
out?
a month.
Oh, before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And then
I'm
you'll come
hoping
back.
like tomorrow I'll find out when I go to the visa place more of a timeline. Yeah, like I'm already cleaning out my apartment. So
Yeah.
if it's longer than a month, I have to go like crash on my mom's couch or whatever until
Yeah.
I find out.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Are you nervous or are you full on like gung ho?
I'm both. I mean, I'm ready and like psyched. There's no part of me that's hesitant.
Yeah.
But I'm nervous because so much of it is up to some faceless government
Yeah.
person. Like
Right.
where it's like whether they could still say no. If they say no,
Yeah.
then I have to. I'm already having all my stuff shipped.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing too is I've got to have the stuff I'm keeping shipped to England
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
a boat for like 3 months. So I'm doing that regardless, obviously, because I'm gonna live there at some point.
Right.
Oof, that sounds so expensive. Just having moved across this one country
Yes.
without any water involved, that was really expensive.
Yes, but it's significantly less expensive than having it like by air because they're like you can have it air
Yeah.
like
Oh,
there
I
in a
bet.
week or 3
Yeah.
months, and the difference
Yeah,
is
yeah, I bet.
thousands of dollars. So I'm like, yeah, I can wait on like my
Yeah.
sweaters or whatever. So my stuff is gonna be there regardless. If they say no or if there's a delay, that means that I'm just gonna have to go. Like I said, just live at my mom's house because I won't have any of my stuff.
Yeah. Because you've
Yeah.
given your notice to your place. And,
Yes.
like you're leaving.
So And if I get denied, then I'll have to. You're allowed to go for like up to 6 months without a visa, so I'll just have to do that. I'll
and
just
then
have to
you
go and come back, and I guess make my home base my parents' house, so
Yeah.
I don't have to pay rent.
So how long do you have to come back to the U.S. and stay and then bounce back? Is that like you have to?
Well,
can you
I'll
do
find
that,
that
a
out
day?
if they.
Deny
Yeah,
your
I don't
thing?
know. Yeah, isn't
Yeah.
that funny that you could just land and be like, all right, cool, and then get back on a plane?
Yeah.
That would suck. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't really know.
They got to let you in. Come on.
Hey, dude, I hope, but I don't know what the terms are because
Yeah.
it would be funny if it was just like one day resets it.
Right. Then it's just like airfare is going to add up, but other than that, you're fine.
Yeah. So yeah, I have no idea about any sort of concrete anything.
Huh.
He's already moved into our house, so it's like I got to start paying rent. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
since
It's going to be a long distance storage unit for a while if you don't get over it.
Yeah, and I can't pay two
Yeah.
rent, so I'm about to have to be like, "Hey, mom, I'm
Yeah.
moving back in." Technically, even though I would just be like keeping my stuff there.
Yeah.
But it's tough, and I'm sure like but just not seeing him sucks. Like
Right.
FaceTiming every day
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
It's just weird,
Right.
and it's weird to not have a time where I'm not allowed to go visit him while this is being decided.
What?
You have
why?
to
They
Stay
take
here?
my passport.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh,
yeah.
So that's the other thing too is there's no sort of like, well, I'll see you in a week. Like it's
Yeah.
so weird.
Just it's up to them.
He can come. I
This is
think he
so
can come
much
visit
up in
me,
here.
but he has a job,
Right.
So he can't. He's a teacher. He can't just like leave.
Yeah. Are you going to miss LA, do you think, after you leave?
I mean,
It's a long time. You
I'll
were
miss
for-
my
you were there for a long time?
friend. Yeah, I've lived here for 13 years. I'll definitely miss my friends.
Yeah.
But it taking 2 hours for me to get here.
Yeah.
In traffic that's like the fucking Everybody Hurts video. I'm
Right.
not gonna miss that.
So you're not like totally in love with LA and like thought you would be here for the rest of your life necessarily. Okay.
I didn't even think that when I first moved here.
Okay.
I think I always knew it was temporary, not because of any sort of distaste for the city, but because of economics. Like I always knew, like
Yeah.
I'm never going to be able to buy a house here.
Yeah.
Like that's not possible unless
Right.
you're a millionaire.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I kind of knew it was going to be temporary.
Yeah. So that's a huge move. My brother is someone who like totally picked up and moved. Like he lived in England, he lived in Spain, he lived in Germany. Like he totally picked up and like restarted his life a bunch of times. And that's
Right.
I know that takes a lot out of him. Have you ever done that before besides when you moved to LA?
No, that was probably the biggest time. I mean, the time that I lived in England was in between high school and college. It was, it was those times where you don't have to have
Yeah,
a job
doesn't
and you
matter.
kind of just do whatever you want because you're like 18, 19.
Yeah.
No, so the biggest move was moving here straight from Atlanta. But that was also I didn't start college till late, so I moved here 2 days after I graduated from college. But I was already like 26 or something.
That's good.
But yeah,
That's a good
so that's probably the biggest.
Yeah.
But I was married then, like it wasn't as much of a. I moved with my then husband,
Right.
So it wasn't like I was just flying blind. Like I'm just gonna show up here
Right.
by myself. Like I had support,
Yeah.
and I had another person doing it with me.
Yeah. Can we talk about that and just as far as like planning that first wedding and what you learned in that experience and how you're applying it to the new one?
I'm just doing everything differently.
Yeah.
Basically, well, we were young, and David's cool. Like my ex-husband's cool, and we're friends. Like,
Yeah.
he's a rad dude. There's no sort of like animosity, but we were so young that I think we definitely felt like pressure to be more traditional because our parents had a way more of a say.
An influence.
Well,
yeah.
they also were. Let's get serious. They were. My parents paid for the wedding, and
Yeah.
that traditional, like the bride's parents. We got married in my parents' backyard.
Okay.
So to save money on like a venue, and then my parents paid for everything else. So yeah, it was pretty traditional. I mean,
Yeah.
there were some things like I walked down the aisle to the Smiths. Like there were things like that, but like for the most part, it was I mean, I wore a white dress. My stepdad walked me down the aisle.
Yeah.
Like we had pretty traditional. Well, David's parents his parents are super Catholic. We did have a fight because they were like, we want you to have a Catholic wedding, like
Yeah.
a mass. And I was like, sorry about it. I'm not Catholic,
Yeah,
so
and
that's not
You're
happening.
not getting baptized.
Yeah, like I was like, yeah, we're not having a mass in my parents' backyard who they're not even Catholic.
Yeah.
And so that was like kind of tense.
Yeah.
And there also were fights over like people, like who to invite. They wanted to invite like way more people, and we're like, yo, my parents were like, yo, we're paying for like we can't pay for like David's third grade teacher to eat at the buffet. Like, get serious. Like,
Mrs.
this is
Roberts,
expensive.
why not?
It was like people that he hadn't seen in forever, and it's like,
Yeah.
we can't afford that.
Right.
So
So is
It's just when you're
go ahead.
What?
Was it?
Oh, I was
could
gonna
you
say when
pause?
you're like that young, I feel like you are just like relying on other people's like older people's like way of doing things, and like
Yeah.
and there's like it's such a traditional like thing having a wedding, and I feel like people just rely on tradition. When you're young, you just rely on other people, but like when you get married when you're older, you're like, no, I know
Yes.
who I am, I
Yes.
know what I like,
Yeah.
and this is
Exactly.
what I fucking like.
No,
and it's
Totally. Like we definitely
Yeah.
felt at the time, yeah, all those were something borrowed, something, but like everyone was
Yeah.
like, you got to do this, you have to have this, you need to have these flowers, you got to do this and say this,
Yeah.
and we're like, oh, okay, you're
Yeah.
right. Like this is such an established thing
Yeah.
that
Kind
we
of
have
bombarded by
yeah,
it.
and it's like here are the rules, and you
just
got to
like
do all
life,
these.
man. It's just
Yeah.
like fucking life.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, now we're like, yeah, exactly. Fuck it. We're gonna have a bowling party in Memphis. Like, no, we don't have to
Seriously.
be in a church.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, when we first got married, we thought, and this is like early internet days too, I guess, where it's like you didn't realize you could just have your friend marry you.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we didn't know that at all. We're like, oh, we have to hire like a preacher,
Yeah.
which we did. And then because of that, that is why I'm just now remember. I haven't talked about this in forever. And I just remembered how, yeah, so we had to like hire a preacher, which we found because you don't go to like the fucking preacher store. We're like,
Yeah.
how do you hire this guy? And it was like
Yeah.
the guy who had married like some friends of our parents or some weird shit, right? So they're like, yeah, go to this guy. And so we go and we're like, yeah, will you marry us? And he was like, you have to do like a week of counseling before I'll marry you. And we're like, what? And
Yeah.
then we had to go. And it was like Christian. I mean, he was a preacher, so it was
Yeah.
like in a church, and like, yeah, they were asking us like, it's almost weirdly full circle, kind of like the thing I'm doing now, where it was like
Yeah.
asking us, why do you want to get married?
Yeah.
What's the vision for your future together? Are you going to have kids? No. And we were just sitting there like, you're a
Yeah.
stranger. Why do we have to answer these? And so we had to do that before the guy would agree to marry us.
Yeah. We dabbled in that a
Didn't
little
you guys
bit.
go through
Yeah,
that?
we
Didn't
basically.
Catholic? Yeah.
We went and met with a guy, and yeah, the religious people really make you want to jump through those hoops.
Yes.
And like really
And then he
like.
went to Portugal, right? Didn't he like jumped up and went
Yeah.
to Lisbon?
Then he pieced out and went to Portugal, and we're like, we're just going to do our own thing. That
So
was
he
when-
didn't end up being your officiant.
No, because there's a church across the street from our apartment, and it's a Catholic church. My wife is Catholic, so for a minute we were like, "Oh, that'd be fun to get married at the church right across the street from our house."
Right.
We're not, religious in any particular.
But she was raised that
She was
way.
raised
Yeah,
that way,
yeah.
so it was going to work out. So yeah, we went and met with the guy, and it was like he was sitting down and like asking us. When we were kind of like on our best behavior a little bit,
Yeah.
like Wendy was like playing up her Catholicness, and I was like, "Yeah, Jesus, he's totally
He's great.
He's totally up there."
Yeah.
Watching over all
He's a
this.
great dude.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right. It felt very false and weird. And just, I'm glad he went to Portugal because it would have been.
So did you end up having a friend do it?
Yeah. My buddy who is married to Wendy's sister married us. So
Right.
it was much more
Yeah,
poetic.
I wish we'd have known. Yeah, because our dude, well, we did edit. Like, so at first he was going to do like the super long,
Yeah.
because it was in my parents' backyard, not in a church, but he was, not the vows or whatever it's called, like the preamble to the Constitution,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
whatever he was going to say.
The ceremony.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Service.
it was like super long.
Yeah.
And we did edit it. Like we were like, bro, we don't want this to be any
Yeah.
longer than like 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And so we cut a lot of it out. And it was super heavy on, and I'm not even like an atheist or whatever, but it was
Yeah.
super religious
No,
where
yeah.
we're like, calm down.
They're going to get their time. They're going to.
And most of that stuff is so fucking. I'm not trying to hate, but it's like it's kind of dark and morose,
Yeah.
and it's like, nah, like let's
Yeah.
happy time it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I did take out. There was a lot of stuff about like ownership. You take this woman to do the, and I'm like, no, we're not gonna.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Yeah.
own me. Like
Yeah.
that's not. I don't
Yeah.
like that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Who speaks for this cattle?
Yeah, it would totally. Like absolutely. Yeah.
It's so gross.
Yeah.
It is.
It is also bizarre where like unless it's like your family priest or whatever and someone who knows you,
Right.
it's weird when they start talking about the couple and they're like,
Yeah.
we all know these two. I'm like, you don't know these people.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
It's kind of weird that it ever was the norm for people to get this random person to do it instead of like a friend
Yeah.
or something.
Yes, I agree. But I wish I'd have known then. Yeah,
Was
that
it-
it's easy to get a friend to do it.
It sounds like you were just young and you guys didn't know any better and you were just going along. But was any part of that what you wanted to do in that moment in your life?
Oh yeah, as far as I mean, obviously we chose all the music. When we hired the DJ, which again, we didn't have like the equipment. Like obviously we were like, we can play our own records, but we're like, we don't have the equipment. So we hired like a wedding, like, hey, Jeff, the wedding DJ.
Yeah.
But then I totally remember how both of us, and this is like pre-iPod, so we just burned a stack of CDs.
Yeah.
And we were like, if you play anything that's not on these CDs, you're fired. If you play the fucking Macarena, you're fired on the spot. And I was like, what? Okay. And we're like, we're serious. Like, this is all that you get to play. So of course we wanted to play like all our cool music.
Yeah.
And then also I didn't care about any of the, I do remember having a weird argument with my mom because I didn't care about like the flowers or whatever. Like everything, I was like, just get red roses. And my mom's like, what? That's so boring. Like, don't you want, and like naming flowers, I don't even know what they are. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. Just get red roses. And then the biggest argument, we had a bouncy castle at our wedding.
Okay.
And that was the biggest argument. And I was like, that's not negotiable, Mom. Bouncy castle. And especially because I looked it up and it was like, you guys, it's only like $200 to rent one for the entire weekend.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
That's so cheap.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be way more than that. So I was like, it's only $200. You have to get this. And my mom, we had like a screaming match.
Wow.
'Cause she's like, you're not having a bounce castle at your wedding. I'm like, Mom, I'm the bride. This is my one demand. I was like, I let you pick the flowers and whatever else girly shit.
Yeah.
We're getting this.
Yeah.
And she's like, fine, like stomping her feet. We get it. Everyone jumped in that shit.
Of course.
Everybody's grandma was in there. My mom was in it. Like everyone. Like the next day, my mom was like, I owe you an apology. That was super fun.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, she was like, I didn't know that was going to be a big hit. And I was like, I did.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a bouncy castle.
That was big of her to come back and say,
She was like, you were right. It was a big hit. So that I
And I
was
bet
like,
all her flowers she picked out are dead now.
yeah, exactly.
The memories of the bounce house are not.
Yes.
yeah.
So I didn't really care about any of the details other than the bouncy castle.
Okay. But no bouncy castle second time around at Graceland.
No,
Do they
because
let you set
I don't
up a
think the
bouncy
Presley
castle?
Foundation or whatever is going to let us have that.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
That's a shame. Maybe at the bowling alley.
We'll just get one of the. Maybe we can put one of those guys that are outside of car dealerships
God.
in front of the
But
gate.
dress him like Elvis. in the
yeah,
jumpsuit. That's the guy you put in the jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the fucking
Totally.
Is that guy like waving around? Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're in good shape for the Graceland wedding. Is there anything though that's still giving you a pause for concern or stressing you out besides
Honestly,
this bureaucratic
just
thing?
money. Because it's like after it's all said and done with this visa, like I have savings and like I had some set, and I'm like, oh, we'll be fine. And then now that this visa thing's happening, I'm like, we might have to postpone our wedding, like purely based on money alone.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. I was so naive. I really, when I left England the last time, so because I went for like a month back to just like hang out with him. And then he had to start work. Like he teaches at a college, so like school started. So he's like, I'm going to work now. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just bounce home real quick and we'll get this taken care. Like having no idea.
Yeah.
And then now, I've already been back a month and it's just inching along. And I'm like, so now it's just, when am I going to get to live with my fiance? Like it's so weird to not live with him.
Yeah.
It's weird.
You might
sucks.
go through the holidays. It might be a minute. Like, do you have any idea?
I really have no idea, and I hope to find out tomorrow. But so right now, I'm like, I just want to live with them, and then we'll figure out the rest.
Yeah.
It's like really tough.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, either way, it's exciting and romantic.
Yay.
Yeah. What's like the one thing about being like an Englandite? That's not what the word is.
A limey?
How did I lose? I'm an Anglophile. I love England.
Yeah, there you go.
And
What's the one thing about living in England
English.
that you're like the most excited about?
I mean,
What's like the first thing you're gonna do?
Are you going to adopt an accent?
I actually live in fear of that. When I was there this most recent time, I was like, I cannot get a Madonna accent. My friends
happens.
will never stop ripping on me.
It happens naturally.
It fully does happen. It's
Yeah.
like even when I caught myself saying things like tidy. I'm like, I've never said the word tidy in my life.
No. My wife works with a bunch of Brits, and like she comes home and she says something like, she's like, are we going out tonight? I'm
Yes.
like, why are you raising your voice like that?
And it is, you don't even realize you're doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of trying to avoid getting an accent so all my friends don't rip me a new one.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I don't know. It's just, the attitude there is so, it's just a different, God, I don't even want to say the word vibe, but it's like,
It is though.
Say it.
Yeah.
they're like less aggro in general than like Americans are. There's
Yeah.
no like American exceptionalism
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
attitude. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's because they
But I'm
lost the
saying this
revolution.
in the middle of like Brexit. Like it's not great
Right.
over there also.
Right.
No, they're still old white British men who are
Yeah.
very, the Venn diagram's there.
Yeah, but it's overall, it's just kind of like more chill. I'm looking forward to, I'm going to sell my car. Like I'm looking forward to not having to drive.
Oh, don't need a car.
Yeah, because public transportation there is
Yeah.
so readily available.
Also, it's backwards on the street
The
there anyway.
tube.
You don't
Oh,
wanna-
I would
The tube.
I would get in a wreck in like 5 seconds. Like Martin's
Yeah.
like, why don't we get it? You can drive here. I'm like, no.
You've never driven there?
Never.
I made a point of doing it when I was over there, and it was terrifying.
Yeah, how did it go?
We were in the country when we were doing it too, so it's like narrow roads, and like people are coming down. I'm like, I'm on the wrong side. I'm on the wrong, and you're on the wrong side of the car, which really throws you.
Yes.
It was fun, but I was not comfortable with it.
Yeah, I don't think I would even.
They have those little Peugeot cars.
Yes.
Like all their cars are so little.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the most American thing I've ever said in my life.
Yeah. No.
I'm not even
But
I wasn't
it's
even
true.
fucking born here, but it's so true. All their cars are just like,
Yeah.
Yes.
I just hear the Interpol police sirens in my head. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm too scared to even try.
Yeah.
I've never, I mean, I kind of out of curiosity maybe want to rent a car one day and go to like a big parking lot and
Yeah.
try to, because even the idea of driving on the wrong side, and they're
Yeah.
all stick shifts, which I
Yeah.
can barely drive anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be doing a lot of driving. And you don't
can't
really
do that.
need to.
Sounds like you don't have to.
You
Don't
can
worry
take
about it.
trains everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you want to go way out in the country.
Yeah.
But Martin doesn't have a driver license, so I'm like, you might need to get it, homie, because I'm not getting one.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's 48 and never driven because he's
Wow.
just never had to.
Yeah. It's
Fuck
like being
Yeah.
It's
I
like being a
love-
New Yorker or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Very exciting. Well, what's the advice you have for people listening and who are planning their own wedding or looking to get married one day?
Oh God, I don't know.
Start the paperwork now.
Start the
Yeah, start the
paperwork
paperwork.
as soon as possible. I will say, if you are dating somebody who doesn't live in the same country, save everything from day one.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. As part of this, they're like, yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
need your plane tickets. I'm like, who has paper plane tickets
Yeah.
now? No one
Yeah.
has those or saves them.
What the fuck?
So save every single thing in a scrapbook.
Yeah, I was going to
Just
say,
in
get your
case.
scrapbooking skills going.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess just really obvious advice, do exactly what you want to do.
Yeah.
Don't listen to anybody else. Don't feel like you have to do any traditional shit if you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Just do exactly what you want to do and don't let anybody's parents tell you otherwise.
Yeah, get the bounce house.
Fuck yeah.
Yes. Get the bouncy castle. I promise it'll be a hit.
Yeah.
I promise.
Well, this was a hit. This was fun. Eric,
Yeah,
you
this
got
was
anything
great.
else?
I was just thinking about you explaining bouncy castles to people in England. Like, well, it's a castle. It's a castle. You can bounce in it. You can just bounce in it.
You take off your trainers, you get in.
Yeah. I got nothing. That's incredible. I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Good
man.
luck with everything. Good luck with the.
Yeah.
I
Thank
picture
you.
the bureaucrat of Brazil, it's just going through a bunch of tubes and
Yeah.
it's just
Pneumatic at the bank.
Yeah,
and then
right.
It's
Yeah.
and then you just read and go, I don't think this is real. No.
stamp, double stamp.
I think you're not in love. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fingers crossed.
Thank
If
you.
they're listening, if the customs agent is listening to this podcast, just do it.
Just do it.
fucking.
Yes,
What are you
man.
You're getting a
waiting
good
for?
one. Just fucking do it, man.
You can use this podcast as evidence, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will. I'll submit this as evidence.
Yeah.
Nobody lies on the podcast.
That's right.
April Richardson, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Talk about taking care of business, Eric.
TCB.
That was
TCB,
April
baby.
Richardson. Boy, good luck to her and all that paperwork.
What a romantic story, though, no?
Oh my God, a whirlwind. Sounds like a whirlwind romance they got going over there.
A love that was found, that was always there, kind of, in a way. Mm-hmm. And now you got to jump through all these hoops that were created by bureaucrats who are not capable of love.
Yeah, they don't have love in
So
their hearts.
they make it harder for other people to love. And also Elvis.
King,
Memphis.
Graceland, TCB,
Grace. Baseball.
baseball. Eric, we did it again.
Dan, I am really excited about this episode, and I think it's going to be really fun to listen to it.
Hey, if you like whatever this podcast is, tell your friends. Please rate and subscribe us on iTunes and follow us on @Groomzillas on Twitter, @Groomzillas Pod on Instagram. What else? Am I missing anything?
Thank you, Whiteheads. Never forget about us.
Hashtag get wet. Hashtag stay wet. Bye, Eric. I love
wet.
you. Bye.
Bye, Dan. I love you. Bye.
Forever. Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Executive produced by Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. For more original podcasts, please visit foreverdogpodcasts.com and subscribe to our shows on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Keep up with the latest Forever Dog news by following us on Twitter and Instagram